Hey guys, so Lana here, and today I wanted to talk about my current campaign that I'm working on in Dungeons and Dragons, Mythic of Theros, not Eros, Theros. And one of the interesting things about running this campaign is that I don't quite understand all of the game fundamentals from base game, but I figured it's new content, at least new to everybody that's in the group, and I don't have to worry about, oh, well, the storyline was the last time I did it, because people like to say that sort of thing. And so, what's interesting about this particular group, though, is that they are very driven by kill based XP. Like, they have literally picked fights with NPCs that were entirely more powerful than they were. Like, we're talking like TBK type of things. These are level 3 characters that they have, and these NPCs are like level 10 and level 15. And it's amazing that they have limited powers, yet they want to destroy everything. And I'm wondering, is the entire campaign going to be like this? Is it just going to be until they learn more about the characters they can do and manipulate the story and things like that? Because I've already experienced my story not going the way that it should have gone. And quite frankly, it's annoying that I've had to deal with that, but I get it. This is what I signed up for. Not once, but twice, and soon to be 3 times. All while I've been doing this less than 1 year. Fantastic, right? So, there was this instance where the group just fought these beasts, and they are in a ruins, and they find the first house outside of the ruins. Well, the house belonged to a level 15 paladin. And that NPC was placed there because I wanted it to help out the group, but later on in the story, because the way that I'm trying to do things is like a good movie where you have the beginning, you have the middle, but then the things that you explain in the beginning and the middle, it kind of loops back to that one thing. Like, there are no unfinished stories in this thing, because in the way that I write, because I also write, the way that I write is I try to like to take an element and I try to go deep down the rabbit hole as possible with that one element. And sometimes I struggle because I don't always go back to my original intent, but it always deviates. And what this campaign is doing is deviating, not in a pretty weave of a story. They're deviating like I've mixed my exit, so therefore I am going to do something extremely illegal, like, I don't know, cut across 10 lanes, hit a U-turn, and then get back on the highway. It's that kind of game. The worst part of it is, it's like, they're all new players. Well, I think 1 or 2 are not new players, but the rest of the group are new players. And what's frustrating is that they have interest in shows like Critical Role and things like that, but I can't necessarily emulate what Critical Role does, because quite frankly, I am not there yet. I am still learning these things. But I also too want a complete story, because I think that the best stories are the ones that are complete. And if we're spending 4 and 5 hours in one night out of every 2 weeks going through the campaign, I want to make it memorable. I want to make it worthwhile. I want people to go back and really think about all the cool stuff that they experienced while playing Dungeons and Dragons, and how like they actually had a good, entertaining story. Because the worst thing that I personally could do is waste somebody's time, which is why I'm actually going to be going into detail about how I'm writing my NPCs for the campaign, and how I am making it all connect without giving too many details away from the campaign. Because if you're one of my players, there are no spoilers here. But I truly think that the group is having a good time. I just want to make sure that they have a good time, because it's like we're all experiencing the same thing 4 hours at a time every 2 weeks. So it's you kind of have to take it for what it is. But I hope they have fun. I also wanted to. I'm curious about how new players feel about jumping into a campaign and actually going through the process, and instead of becoming XP driven by kills, they're more interested in like learning how to use their character for all sorts of things. You know, like instead of starting a war with a faction, maybe you can talk it out. Maybe you can, try to convince an NPC or something that's trying to kill you, or negotiate down price, Oh, hey, let me convince this one random guy that you should give us his airship. That sort of stuff. I don't remember when I first started playing it how I actually, no, I do remember. I didn't actually want to kill everything because my character was a monk, and I tried to role play that character as if it was lawful good, and it was a really interesting experience. That character also had a body count. All unintentional, I promise. I'll have to tell y'all the story one day. But I just wondered, like, where does that transition come through? Is it level 4, level 5? Like, right now I'm giving my players an option to change their character as long as it's not past level 5. Once we hit level 5, whatever they're doing at that point locks in. So that's really the only thing that, I want them to begin exploring their characters, to see about manipulating things, but with using their current stats. I'm not going to tell them to reroll stats as well, because I don't want to do any min-maxing. I think that min-maxing is a terrible thing unless you're in a raiding guild on WoW. Then it's a really good thing, because that means that you get to go to bed a lot faster. Can you tell I raided a bit? So, one of the things also about being a dungeon master, especially a brand new dungeon master, is the fact that I am so clueless about some of the rules that I'm constantly having to ask some of my players, hey, what does this do? Hey, what does this do? Hey, how do I interpret this? Which I think it's a good thing, because it's like they're patient, I'm patient, we're patient together, and magic happens. I mean, not I can teleport from one city to another magic, but that'd be nice. I mean, who couldn't use a teleportation spell? Like, I would actually be not annoyed about going to work if I could teleport there. So, funny enough, I do think that maybe around level 5 with my D&D players, that they'll get a chance to really, really get into their characters, what their characters can do, to manipulate the scenery in any way possible. Because one, it keeps me on my toes as a DM, because I'm constantly trying to keep up with the story. But two, maybe they'll have fun with it. Who knows? So if you'd like to see more storytelling about, my current dungeon and things like that, hit that like, subscribe, even share it with your friends. Maybe share it with your dungeon group and have them to answer the question, do you like to kill for your XP? Or do you like to figure things out without killing? Let me know.